I'll be in the game shortly. I'm spreading democracy.
Fair enough.
Playing democracy? Or...
He's playing Helldivers. He's spreading managed democracy.
Oh, you know what? Also, they just now sent me the toll road fees for when I was in Canada.
The fuck?
Yeah, they just now sent it to me, and it's due in 3 days. I'm glad they decided to wait.
Nice. It's because they were trying to find you. They were like, who the fuck is this? How did they get here?
Oh, yeah.
Where did they come from?
If you kick dirt on your license plate, can they still get you on the toll roads?
It's probably illegal, but I don't know.
I was about to say, I feel like they might not get me, but I'd be committing a felony. I'm pretty sure.
You know, it's not as bad.
License plates need to be readable, Kay. I'm sorry.
It's not as bad
No,
over
you
here
see
as
all
it is
the
over there.
people-
Oh, you'd
You
be
see all the
surprised
people
how many
there?
license plates are not readable in my city.
Yeah, I thought like it happens a lot when
I've
it's like
driven by-
snowing. People like
I've
blow
driven by
dirt.
so many people with license plates just covered in snow, and I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what? If it makes you feel any better, next time when I'm up in Canada, I will pull over onto the side of the road and just cover it, and then we'll test it.
Just splash a bit of snow.
I would love to see the camera footage of that. Just like the toll booth camera outside. There's just a guy on the side of the road just like...
Well, I'd obviously do it before. Like, I'd stop at a gas station or something.
Oh, yeah.
Right, but...
the gas station camera will
You
get you.
stop by the gas station. There's 8 other people doing it.
Well, there's 8 other people committing a felony at the same time. It's fine.
It's like the saying goes, don't get caught doing a felony if you're committing a misdemeanor or something like that.
Something like that. All right, but sorry. But yeah. We're here for Dungeons and Dragons. It's what we're here for. But yeah. Oh, that's how you do it. Okay, cool. But last
Jake's figured out something, and I'm scared.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Also, I forgot we were already live with the felony talk. I mean, what?
Now you can't do it, Andrew.
You didn't tell us.
There's no felonies. Being
In
committed
Minecraft.
here. In
In
Minecraft.
Minecraft.
In game.
In game. In D&D.
Yeah. In game. We're committing misdemeanors and felonies.
I've committed so many murders in 5e.
In Dungeons and Dragons.
Except you have those, the thing.
Don't worry about me searching up how to burn up bodies in Dungeons and Dragons.
Don't worry about me searching how many logs it takes to burn a body.
I mean, I
remember.
Yeah.
It was like an insane amount.
Yeah, it required like 1.5 tons of fucking wood to burn one person's corpse or some shit. I can't fucking remember. It was insane, but also it was like it was like a full cremation versus
Right. Like instead of burning body for just to prevent plagues and whatnot, just actual cremation.
I mean, if we're talking about burning a body to prevent plagues, that's what corpse piles and mass graves are for.
Yeah.
And we know how well those work.
Well,
I was gonna say those worked so well.
So well. They didn't cover them in enough foil. Okay, alright, moving on. We're here to play Dungeons and Dragons. Not
Why is Veyruin the only one in a combat encounter?
Am I?
Is it?
He's fighting his demons right now.
I'm fighting.
Yeah, he
demons.
is.
Why is he in a combat?
1111.
Where's his token? You
Is
should
it on a different page?
Is it a
Oh, I am.
whiteboard?
Clean.
All of our tokens are on the whiteboard.
That is true.
Sorry.
It's weird. Well, the whiteboard is the whiteboard. The whiteboard.
Oh no,
should
now
have-
it's okay. Now it's cleared. Now it's clear.
Yeah, because I just deleted it. But like on the whiteboard, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to have your things on the whiteboard because you're all on the whiteboard. What status condition is fucking Lyra suffering from? What the hell?
That's what I was curious about.
I have a status
Maybe
condition.
What's that one on Veyruin?
It's my sleep paralysis demon.
Veyroon is
We're
loss of
fighting him,
speed because he's encumbered.
which
Oh.
technically not because
Lyra
there's
has
this
a
Oh, Lyra's
Lyra has a
exhausted.
one.
Oh, it's an
Oh, that's
exhaustion.
an exhaustion meter.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. It was because of her rage, her magic.
Mm, that should be gone by now.
Let me fix this.
Mhm.
Yeah, unencumbered. Shit, my prayer point book is £5.
Put it in your goddamn bag of holding.
Yeah, I'm doing that now because I
We
didn't.
literally all have one for this reason.
I don't like it because you can't see your bag of holding as easily. You have to open it.
Yeah, but normally I don't need the things in my bag of holding, which is what everything I put in my bag of holding I just didn't
Yeah,
need.
the bag of holding is for the heavy shit that we don't usually use.
Like, I've got the 2-liter glass jug in there still. I don't need it, but it's in there. I've got a... You know what? I'm not going to say that.
We still have the two.
We had one.
Jug?
Yeah, we had one left. Yeah,
I mean, true. You only filled one.
exactly. So we've got another 2-liter glass jug in case we fight any more dragons, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, just in case you fight another dragon and you can pull all their blood out. That's gonna be a common occurrence from now on. You know, all the dragons are coming
Fighting
after
dragon.
you guys.
Yeah, we killed one and they're like, we gotta kill him.
You can't have them around. You know, they beat them dragon
They've
killers.
They've got one dragon under their belt. Who's to say they don't go for 2?
No. What about the third? What about the fourth? It's just gonna keep escalating. But last we had left off, our wonderful little party of adventurers who've been talking way too long about other random things like, you know, committing crimes in game, had spent their week in Melagos doing some research, kind of preparing for their next couple of days on the road. Of which I believe you had decided that you were all going to go up to Tipper to kind of decipher some of the events that Vestel's old group had undergone, and kind of maybe figure out some of the mysteries and see how things went before traversing and moving your way towards, I think it was Free Reach.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
No, we're going towards Tipper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we're going towards
For now.
Tipper first, and then we're going to Free Reach from there.
And then I think you had decided that you were just going to go on the road instead of going to Ardvilast or Eltobin or sorry, yeah, just going to Ardvilast or Galers. You're just going to travel on the road, right?
Yeah.
Some of these people had bad previous experiences in the water. I don't know. Freaking out for no reason. We got attacked one time.
You got attacked one time. Out in the ocean. Slaver's ship. You know, it'd be what it be. Sometimes it just happens. But as you had finished your downtime, your week of activities within the city itself, there's some new rules that I actually forgot to introduce.
Oh.
I think I had written one set of new rules, which was what was it? It was the downtime activities.
Yeah, the downtime activities.
And then there was another 2 new rules, which was the skill challenges and reputation.
Well, we've had the skill challenges.
Well, you've had the skill challenges, but there weren't like proper official.
Nothing was
rules.
actually written down.
Yeah, now you have a set of written rules that you can refer to if you wish. They're not really that different from what you had already experienced. Essentially, it is the same as a skill challenge. I will determine how difficult it is, and as the skill challenges progress, depending on your successes and your failures, the situation might change, which could increase your chances or decrease your chances depending on your successes and your failures. There's also something that I could ask for, which is like a general check within a skill challenge, which was like, you know, if all of you are trying to run away from something specifically, then all of you can try athletics once, but every time you succeed, the DC increases by a certain amount for the next person that wants to try it, right? So you get multiple successes on one skill check. However, the difficulty increases. Or if you wanted to stick to other skill checks and you kind of give me a reasonable way of which you can interpret the situation and use that skill check to get out, then fantastic. But yeah, you can use a skill, a tool, Sometimes you can even make a saving throw. But most typically, they're 3 successes versus 3 failures. That is a normal difficulty skill challenge. A harder one is like 4 to 3. A even harder one could be like 4 to 2. Or something like that. So I decrease it or increase it depending on the amount of chances that you might get to succeed or pass something. Yeah. The other one is reputation. Reputation is a little bit kind of arbitrary, I suppose. Unless you're specifically wanting to build up reputation. Then you tell me, Jake, I want to build up some reputation with this group or with this individual. And then you could be like, okay, cool. I'll do that. But mostly it is a group thing where like your entire group builds reputation with an entire other group, or your group builds an entire reputation with another individual. If you wish to build up individual reputation, then typically it requires you to act on your own to do something that's beneficial to the other party. Or detrimental, and it's entirely up to you. It goes on a scale of -10 to +10. So, as an example, previously when you guys had saved Van Bloom's life, it had given you a +5. Unfortunately, due to some other events, that has now dropped by 4. So he is currently at most at a +1.
Hey, it was just still positive.
Not 0 or not negative. So I think you're honestly winning still.
For now.
But
no, we think
things,
sometimes we can.
That's true. But things such as what Lyra had done the week previous during her downtime is that she got a +1 to the general populace of Melagast. So, it was a -1 because she killed someone, and then it became a +1, or it shifted by 1 to become a 0, to be like a net neutral.
Mm-hmm.
So currently, Lyra is at a net neutral, but
What would mine be for like Ardalon?
For Ardalon, it would probably be like a +2.
That's what I figured something like that.
What's the max again?
10.
10.
Well, +10 and -10.
Yeah.
Just -10, like 5 stars in GTA.
Yeah, basically. It's like they would basically essentially do everything that they're trying to, in their power, to try and fucking...
You're gonna spawn infinite guards, Jake?
Me with my family, -6.
Maybe.
Damn.
You with your family is a negative number. I'm just not going to tell you what that negative number is.
Man,
It's probably negative. It's probably -8 to -10.
well, they haven't sent many
They've sent an assassin at you.
No, he targeted Artemis. Nobody, as far as I'm aware, has sent an assassin after me. I mean, they had traps in their place of their home, specifically to kill me, but they haven't sent an assassin after me, as far as I'm aware.
Was that for you, or was that just normal defense for a house?
Well, I mean, it targeted me and ignored a lot of you, so I'm assuming it was after me.
Oh, but the...
It literally walked past like 3 of you, took an attack of opportunity to go into the room I was in. So I was like, maybe.
Yeah. And, so yeah. Your week was good fun. So, with that, you kind of, did all your stuff, came back around, rolled out of town, I believe. Or, no, actually, you guys hadn't left yet. It's still the 6th of Sylvia. You guys had acquired some of the equipment of which had been completed. And I believe there was a full moon on this night.
Yep.
And that's where we had left off.
Yeah, which is why we're getting a cart and getting the fuck on the road.
Okay, so you're gonna go purchase a cart.
Are we getting a cart?
I can't make one anymore.
Yeah, because we couldn't travel long distance.
Walked to the last time.
No, we had a cart. We had to get rid of it in the mountains.
No,
The
the last time he went full move, pretty sure we just walked outside the city.
Yeah, you
No,
did.
Yeah, because we were planning on going back. We're trying to make some distance here.
We're
Yeah,
planning
both.
on still going back.
Yeah,
Three of us
'cause
still,
if I
we still
remember
have
correctly,
equipment
there
that needs
was
to be get.
there was equipment that was going to be finished on the 7th, the 8th.
Yeah, we were waiting for a certain day, and then we were.
Oh,
we
okay.
were-
I
Never
think
mind.
we were waiting until the 10th, and then we were getting
Let's
out of
see.
there.
Yeah, the 10th was the last item. It was the shield and the boots that would be finished on the 10th. The
okay.
bow was finished on the 8th.
The 8th.
And
Yeah.
the potions would be on the 7th.
My apologies. I had forgotten the date for your guys' stuff was getting done.
Yeah. Right. Oh, if I remember correctly, Veyroon had learned 2 pieces of information about devils. Is that correct? Did you write that down?
Yeah.
I did.
Okay, excellent.
At a heavy cost.
At a very, very hefty cost. His ex girlfriend named Valeris was a oof.
And a leech.
Well,
Let's
yeah.
not forget the leech.
Yes. Obviously set by Valeris.
Some
to
would
be.
say that Valeris was definitely a leech of some sort.
Didn't we also determine that it's Veyroon's fault that she's mad at him?
Oh, probably.
Definitely was a fault.
Okay, so on this night, you go out of the city and attempt to do some subduing of Darcy's creature, of his buddy, his pal, his pals. Unfortunately, not in the world of Pal World. So,
Yeah, if that were the case, I could just take a butcher's knife and kill him.
oh Jesus Christ! Well, it's a little bit early in the afternoon. Still.
I never even unlocked that thing. I'm not fucking
Oh, I
doing
didn't
that.
do
You
that.
kidding me?
But it's relatively early in the afternoon still, and you guys have some time to prepare if you wanted to do anything else before you had left the city and kind of went to take care of things.
I don't think I've got anything.
No, nothing. Okay, I will assume that all of you have nothing then, unless someone interrupts me. Oh, Lyra.
Can I just look at like any notices of stuff that might be in our way, or like any travel advisories, any information boards?
Yeah. Give me a investigation check.
Oh, wouldn't you just go on the board?
Yeah. You're looking at the board, but like I'm checking what kind of stands out to you as something that might be like relevant to where you're heading, right? Okay. So on the notice board, there's of course all the regular things, goblins nearby that are harassing merchants. You know that there are goblins who are not reformed members of society and are in fact terrible people who are still out in the world hurting people. You see that there's a few kind of notices about, warning about the existence of some griffins nearby that have taken roost and, to exercise some sort of caution as you're exiting Melagast or traversing the roads. One notice actually catches your eye. Well, mainly because it's front and center, brightly colored compared to every other thing else, and it almost seems like it has a designed logo on top of it. And the entire notice is like brightly colored. It's bright blue, orange, reds, and like purples just scattered across the entire thing, and you can see that it's this beautiful drawing of what appears to be like a handsome man, maybe early 30s, with his arms spread wide open and like this flourishing of what looks like almost fireworks behind him. And it says, "Newly opened Wazco's World of Wonders, now available to visit." And underneath it says, "Come see us in Iltobin."
Where is that again? Oh, that's where we're
And
going.
literally to the north of us, northeast.
Okay.
Give me a history check. Oh, yeah. Seems relatively normal. Circuses and kind of performance shows like this pop up in random towns all the time. Most of them die out relatively quickly because, most of them don't have enough traffic to sustain themselves if they're in a smaller location like Iltobin or, Greenspire. But if it was here in the main city, like Melagos, Kirkwall, or Prereach, it'd have tons of customers, but it's kind of strange that they chose Iltobin as the location, which is why it stood out so much. And also because the advertising is flamboyant and annoying.
And everywhere, apparently.
Yeah, something like that.
If it's everywhere, have any of us seen the posters anywhere?
No. It's not everywhere, as in
like,
but as in like
very far distance.
yeah, from
advertising.
Iltobin. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
This is the first you've seen of it, and this would probably be the first time anybody else in the group has also seen it.
Remember the last time we stumbled upon some kind of circus?
Yes, vividly.
Ew. Yes.
I remember that fondly.
Question, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Could I attempt a history check?
Actually, yeah, you're a traveler, sure.
Would anyone who traveled be able to make this or no?
God damn it.
Yeah,
I'll probably tell the group about it.
I think anybody who has traversed the roads, who's been, out and about, can probably.
I'm trying to remember because I still have a rock, like illusory advertisement thing that we got from the remains of that circus,
You do.
and I don't remember what it itself was called.
It was like you're pretty sure Wasco's doesn't sound very familiar.
Gotcha.
However, Varus, Artemis, the two of you kind of like thinking about it, you remember hearing strange rumors about Iltobin that Artemis, you would know that, or you would kind of recall some weird rumors that Iltobin was like uninhabited, that it wasn't really a safe place to be. Varus, you remember a little bit more, or at least rumors. You remember that Iltobin was some sort of like ancestral home for one of the lords, or like one of the lordships of the Middlelands, and you're fairly certain it's Van Bloom's.
Huh.
But there was also, as you were traveling, trying to hide, you had also heard rumors that something had happened in Iltobin. That some 20 or so years ago, it was safe, it was fine to live in, but for some reason something happened. And that there really haven't been people back in a while. Which is very strange to you, because Iltobin, it sounded like it was dangerous, from what the rumors were saying.
Yeah, and this is a very recent posting on this board.
Oh, yeah. You can see on the date, like the grand opening on the 1st of Sylvia, 473 PP.
Huh.
I know that look on your face. If we go through Iltobin, we're going to find another dead circus, aren't we?
Well, more that it should be vacated. There shouldn't really be any people there, which is strange why they would decide to host a circus or something there. As far as I remember, it was supposed to be, I could be wrong, but Van Bloom's ancestral home.
Well, that's odd.
Indeed.
Since for how long has Old Harbin been abandoned? That doesn't sound right. They never updated on the map saying that it was abandoned or a ruin or anything.
As far as I know, it was fine 20 or 30 years ago, and then I don't know, something happened, and not many people are there anymore.
Jake, given my background and like kind of rotating around this area, would I have maybe been there within the last like 10 years or so?
Yeah, probably. Just on the way from like Malagast over to Tipper or delivering things like that. Yeah, probably at least once.
And is it like inhabited or like just completely like a ghost town at this point?
Last 10 years, there's two things that you would remember specifically from your time that you were like walking past Tipper. Once you had tried to go back in for supplies, there was literally no one around. There was no people surrounding the area, and honestly, it gave you the creeps the instant you had entered the area, and your senses, just as a courier, told you to fucking leave. You know that, like, when you're walking around, all of a sudden you get a feeling that something's not right?
Yeah.
And then some shit happens like 30 seconds later? It was kind of like that. So the instant you got that feeling, you left. But there was also one thing that you really noted. Or actually, I suppose it would be two things. One, the massive mountain upon which the castle was constructed was abandoned. There was no people in the nearby area. You also remember that one of the titans, one of the massive giant walkers that you had seen in the Umberlands, there was a dead one there in Iltobin. Crashed upon the side of the mountain.
Well, that's no good.
So I can't attest to why it might be abandoned. I just know that a handful of years ago, I stopped by there to get some supplies, stay the night or whatever. And it was just entirely abandoned. Unsettling. And I will admit, probably the thing that was the most unsettling. You all remember, it's been about a month or so now, that giant walker thing that we saw a while back off in the distance.
Right, yes. Vaguely.
Yeah, one of those was lying just on the mountain. Seemingly
Like resting?
No. It looked dead. Did it look like it was like wounded or anything, or maybe not? I couldn't tell or anything like that.
It's hard to tell given that they had these like massive holes in the center of their chests, but the entire area was somewhat foggy. And the instant you spotted like one of its legs, the fog almost seemed to have cleared out and kind of shifted in a way that allowed you to see the entire body.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it was dead. Couldn't tell. And, they already have a giant hole in their chest, so
Right.
hard to know what is and isn't wounded. But it was just lying there, and there was fog and everything. Part of me wanted to go check it out, but this was before I got my pack, so I just turned around and walked the other way.
Makes sense.
I mean, technically, if we weren't doing anything right now, and maybe when we come back, we could always ask Fandom if he knows, if he'd be willing to talk with us. Any of us.
Knowing that we're going to be going up there now, I'm possibly inclined to go check it out. Back then, little 21-year-old Artemis didn't want anything to do with that.
I mean, technically, you should still not want anything to do with it, but sure.
I don't know, it's just curious to me.
Yes, because the thing that killed one of those giant creatures
That all
A-okay.
are seemingly unkillable. But, common sense.
Well, we don't know what killed it, but it definitely died there. So.
It could have just died from old age.
Yeah, natural
Do they age?
I don't know.
If that was the case, wouldn't there be multiple just lying around dead?
Jake, I didn't roll the history check because I didn't think Pistel would know history stuff, but I guess since she's been in that area, can I roll that history check?
Sure.
I mean, if aberrant beings like that worked work to our common sense, your job would be so much easier.
Yeah, unfortunately, Vistel, you don't get much more than what Artemis is already called.
Also, can't Van Bloom, always hear us?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping maybe he'd say something, but we can have a face-to-face conversation if anything happens. Hopefully.
Maybe just being quiet because it doesn't really involve us.
Or maybe it's just something he'd rather not talk about, which, fair.
Or potentially something that's stumping him as well? That or he just doesn't care.
No,
Well-
maybe it can earn us back some favor with them if we look into it.
I guess, but you don't get to say it out loud, especially if he's listening to us all the time. Now it just sounds like we're going for it just because it would give us his favor again.
What
I
if?
mean,
We sound
It's
like
gonna-
brown noses when you actually say it out loud.
What if Van Bloom was descendant or half walker? No, that's
Do
right.
they give off celestial vibes? I thought they were
I don't-
more like. I thought they were more like your brother's thing.
I can't. I would really like to get close and check it out personally, but I feel like there's a couple.
Oh come on!
people
You're only gonna
here
get what 60
that
feet?
would be. Yeah, it's just 60 feet. I feel like there's a couple people here that would be a bit against that idea.
I personally would like to avoid going near that.
I don't know if those things can get angry, and I don't want to find out.
Yeah, as long as we spread apart, it can only take one of us out at a time. We'll be fine.
All right, then you go first.
It just starts helicoptering.
Who are you talking to? Of course I will.
It just starts
I will-
swinging its arms around.
You're assuming it'll even pay attention to any of you.
Yeah, no.
It clutches his blade and is like, "I've got to kill him."
I mean, we're pretty much ants to it, When you're walking on the street and you see an ant rolling by, do you go out of your way to step on it?
No, that's unnecessarily cruel.
Yeah, so see, why would it do that?
I mean, there's some people that are that cruel.
I feel like
Yeah,
you're
I
looking
mean-
at me, and that's very rude.
No, oh, sorry. Miles away. There's a kid named Jonah when I was growing up. His father was a butcher.
It's always the butcher kids, isn't it?
If they don't actually take up the mantle of a butcher in the store, well, I've got to use their skills somewhere else, I guess.
My brother was a butcher.
Really?
I don't believe that.
No,
I really don't know. I didn't think so.
No.
Anyway, we should start heading out so we can beat him up, maybe.
What if we just beat him so bad the last time that it's just not going to bother this time? That would be awfully convenient.
I still don't have any strings on me, so
Which is why I'm very nervous about what might actually happen tonight.
agreed.
Yeah, based off what happened last time, seems to be very extreme.
Okay. So, as all of you kind of exit the actual city itself, did you want to go to a similar spot as the last time, or did you want to find it somewhere new, or...
May as well use the same spot.
Okay, before we go, do we need to stock up on any diamonds?
That's a good question.
We've got 3. Oh, wait. We've got 2.
Wait, I thought we had
Yeah.
3. What happened? Did someone die while we were
Oh,
One
well,
of Mayroon's exes.
yeah. My ex.
If it was anyone else that you said that about, I would have questions. But since it's Veyron, I understand.
Yeah,
I
very
assume-
No more
messy.
words that
I
need to be
assume X
spoken
from
about.
college.
She broke my shop window, and all she stole was his things and a little statue of him.
I do have to ask, how long ago did you go to college?
Oh, it's been a few decades now.
Okay, and is your
Only a
girlfriend
century?
an elf, or is she just a very old human woman that is very angry with you?
Oh, she's also an elf. Oh,
Okay,
you don't want to
I
know
just
the
had to
full
clarify
story.
that.
You know, at least that's an issue that you'll have to deal with for at least the next 400 years or so.
Am I going to have to worry about her vandalizing my shop while I'm not there?
Only for for you about 150 years, maybe. She'll be
You
fine.
know, she's kind of a bitch, but she's not a bad person.
She stole from you.
Debatable.
Oh, okay. For what I did to her,
What did you do?
What did you
Yeah,
do?
hold
to
on.
her?
No, hold on, time out. What?
Feeling is
What did
alright.
you-
What did you do?
Like,
Uh,
I've been in
what?
situations where, you know, someone might want to slight me, but it might be something like, you know, they might just call me a name in the streets or something like that, right? What did you do to get to this situation?
So the short of it is, look, we've known each other since we were young. We went to the same school, and I may or may not have made fun of her. You know, just because she looked a bit nerdy. Come on, we're all having fun.
You said that a few times before about things like this.
Okay, you made fun of her, but she
Yeah.
also you said she was your girlfriend.
But then,
How
you
did
know,
that happen?
a few years later, she kind of had a glow up, and then, you know, we started dating. But then, you know, it was college, so we ended up breaking up. Then, you know, a few years later, we kind of got back together, you know, after we're done college and you know, everything. But at that time, I was still a party kid, and we actually ended up getting engaged.
All right. How did you screw this up so badly that she's breaking my window?
Yeah, again, this
Well,
is like about 300 years ago, right?
she was so involved, and I was involved, but after my sister got sick, I left.
You just left.
I left.
Did
you
you
mention
say
that to
anything?
her?
Well, yeah, I left her a note.
Oh,
A note?
Artemis just falls over off of the lizard.
Well,
Varun,
I had to
I
go
have-
back home.
Varun, I have very little romantic experience, and I can tell you that was the wrong way to handle it.
Okay, it was. I had to go to my sister's bedside. I didn't
You
have
were
time.
engaged to her.
Varun,
She would
have to
understand. You could have brought her with you.
I have to ask. Are you certain you don't have any children?
I hope not. But,
Oh,
like,
that's not the correct
That's not the
I was
answer I
looking
want to hear.
My mother warned
Yeah.
me about bards, not the damned clergy.
but you know, after all that, I went to the cloth, and I haven't seen her since.
And you didn't, at any point after turning to the cloth, maybe think to send her a letter to.
Literally has
I-
the sending spell.
I sent her dozens of letters. She has never replied back.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I'm sure.
Well,
I sent
wait.
her
How
old
would you
flat,
know?
so we used to live
You're all-
together.
And you're
How would
sure
you know,
she
though?
still lives there?
You know, I think so. I sent it to
No.
her parents. I sent it, you know, just to the carrier with no address. Like, I'm sure it went to her. Right? I look at Artemis, right? That's how couriers work.
You do realize you could just right now send her through magic.
How
No,
have
no,
you
no.
lived for almost a dozen of my life of my life currently, and not know that that's not how you properly send a letter?
Okay, but that was before I revised myself. That was before
Okay,
turned
but
it
even
off.
after you revised yourself, you still didn't do anything.
I sent tons of letters, tons of them, but
You didn't
Not
make
to an
any of them got
address.
to her.
You just gave a man with a bag a piece of paper with a name on it.
I can't see her. I don't. It's so much. I wouldn't know what to say. What should I do?
Start with apologizing.
I mean, I ruined her life. Like, she put a down payment, took out a loan on the house, then I left.
You know,
Just
this
gets
is just
worse
getting
and
worse
worse.
as you go.
So you mean to
Like-
tell me, A, she took a down payment and a loan on this house that you were supposed to live together, and she might have a kid that you don't know about?
You know,
Yeah.
here I was, feeling bad for breaking things off with a lady I knew years ago when I took up this oath. We left on amicable terms, and then I hear this.
You know,
I don't have
Here-
anything to worry about.
I hope you continue to get robbed.
Vayron,
Come on.
you also have to realize that we do have 2 women in this group that you could just ask for advice.
Oh, come on. It's Lyra who. Well, okay, no, I mean, Lyra's a wonderful woman. But she, I mean.
I am like ready to punch this man. Like curling up my fist.
You know,
The murder fist is ready.
I guess she is a woman who doesn't remember most of her life. She has also lots of experience.
I don't.
If I get possessed, I get the feeling you might be targeted.
You know, it is a miracle we have gotten this far with that mentality in your mind.
Okay, I am not a sexist or anything. I just can tell these 2 women don't have experience with love. I can just tell.
Hold me back, Michelle. Hold me back.
No, go for it, bestie.
Man, I'm not interfering in that. That's wow. That's crazy. That's wild, even.
I would like to give him a non-lethal punch in the gut.
Go for it. Make me an attack roll.
Are you raging?
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Do you allow it, Vayron?
I'll allow it, but I feel like she just punches my armor like, oh, ow! Okay, now punch me somewhere else. I deserve it.
Punch him in the dick.
Okay, except for that. That's no one deserves that.
I'll save that for his ex.
Phrasing, but okay.
I'm gonna put an arm around Vayron. You know,
Vayron,
there's a lot of things I probably don't
Vayron.
need to say.
If I go back to Ardalon and my window has been broken again, you are paying for it.
How does she know where you are?
Yeah, I'll pay for the window. I have no idea how she found out I was there.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Where, just by chance, where were you all previously located?
I mean, we had a home together. In
Where?
what's that city called? In my hometown of
If you're talking about,
Sephora.
yeah, if you're talking about your family home,
It's in Telfora?
it would have been Telfora.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
pretty far from Ardalon.
Well, that's where we were planning to settle down. We were in Ardalon.
That's still
We've been-
far away.
Well, both our parents were in Sephora, but we went to school in Ardalon. And then we were going to get married and settle, and, maybe start a family, but, a bunch of stuff happened, and
I'm sorry,
this
real
is where I
quick.
am now.
So, if I remember, your sister is with your parents in Telfora, correct? So
Yeah.
regardless, You were gonna go back there anyway.
Yes, but I turned to the cloth.
I feel like there's a leap in logic here somewhere that like we are all making the connection
To get
but you're
married,
missing-
Beirut!
Okay, fine. I'll let you know. Between her breakup and me turning to the cloth, it was so messy. I did so many bad
You
things.
need to break up is the thing.
You really didn't!
Okay, you want to know? I went on a binge. Okay, I went on a crazy binge. Is that what you want to hear? I didn't just, have a break. I went crazy.
Let me guess, you took the bachelor party like far too literal.
Yes. And I even
Oh.
joined some random bachelor parties, and oh man, they even kicked me out of those.
Good God. Wow,
Eh.
you seriously surprised me, Varun.
She wanted to make it work, but I did leave her
Only-
right before I turned to the cloth, and I couldn't face her after what I've done.
If only all of our lives were so blissfully easy. That's the problem we had to deal with.
I don't. This is the first for me. I'm at a loss for words, Varun. Thank you. I don't know what to say here.
I feel like I've taken psychic damage.
I feel like I'm glad that I've never had a steady relationship.
I feel like any steady relationship you have will far exceed whatever he had.
Not right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I
not
guess
right now.
we've been together longer than some of you have been alive, but it was, I would
That
say,
makes
not the
so
best
much
relationship.
And you mean to
Was-
tell me you still don't know if you have a child?
Well, I mean,
After this, I'm going to Ardalan. I'm going to find this
Hey,
woman, and I'm
my
going to
memory-
clear things up so that she stops breaking my window.
my memory from, when my sister got sick and when I turned to the cloth was very hazy. I'll tell you
So what
that.
you're telling is we have to use the memory thing on you and not the stuff.
Oh, I don't think I need it.
Question,
But-
question, Varun. What does this woman look like? She might have been a customer of mine, and if she brought a child with her, I'll have your answer for you.
Okay, well,
Wait, how long ago did you leave them or leave her though?
oh, it's been about 20 years.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, assuming at the latest it wouldn't be a child anymore, right? It'd be a 20-year-old.
By Elven
What?
standards, that is a child.
Oh
That's
yeah, so
still
they
a
would still
child.
physically look like any of us.
Well,
Would they?
not exactly,
Like
no.
a child.
Unless
That's a deal
Jake's
too.
house ruled elves age, in which case, fuck me, I guess. But
Sorry. Well, I'm like trying to process everything I'm learning.
a 20-year-old elf, would they technically, by all human standards, be an adult but
Yeah,
still a
yes.
child for an elf, or would they still look like a child regardless?
They look like an adult. Like they
Okay.
physically mature at around 25 to 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
So by all means, they would be an adult in like your and my standards, but for an elf, still a child. But they'd be their own person technically.
Hmm.
Well, to us, they're still children.
Usually they still live with their parents for the rest of the century first. That's my understanding.
This is a lot to process.
By the way, what does this woman look like, Varun, so I can keep an eye out now?
Oh, she had very red hair. She has these amazing green eyes. She has these very full lips.
You can't.
I know.
After everything you've been through, you're still complimenting her, yet you don't ever want to see her again.
I do. I just don't know how to face her.
Oh my god. Ugh.
I think I wrote my heart out on the lighters, but I don't know if I can say it.
Jake, since I opened my shop, has any woman matching that, like an elven woman matching that description, shown up in my shop before?
Give me a history check. She's a regular.
Yes, I know the woman. She's a regular. What does she usually buy?
Usually it's just like she'll come in. Honestly, half the time it's for like a conversation. The other half of the time is like she just comes in, browses, and looks at anything that might be interesting that you've carved and kind of purchases it. It seems that she is a bit of a collector for art items.
Huh. Did she, in any of those conversations, did she ever mention someone that might have been Faerun? Like around any particular time in the year, like it might have been an anniversary of hatred?
No.
Any mention of a child?
Don't say it.
Has there ever been any mention of a child?
You can't recall.
All right, she's a regular. She's a collector, if nothing else. She never really focused much on the toys, mostly my artistic pieces.
You've seen it? How does she look? How is she?
She's nice. She's friendly. Most of the time, she's in for a conversation.
She's doing well.
Yes.
Okay.
And from the 10-minute bursts that I've interacted with her, yes.
Did you mention me? Did she hate me?
I don't believe she's never mentioned anyone in regards to anything in regards to someone that might have been you. And if there was any talk about a child, I can't recall right now.
I mean, you guys keep mentioning children. I'm sure there's no way.
There may be, but I'd be the same age as her child, practically.
No.
How many girls have you slept with?
I can't recall.
That's not a good answer. I wanted a number. Not
Okay.
I can't recall.
Varen, I want to remind you, I was 6 when you broke up with this woman.
Huh. I mean, okay, I've at least been with 30. And that was around college time. And then we started dating again. And then
Okay.
there was the period which I don't remember, so.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me you have a possibility of 30 children out there?
Oh, come on. I'm sure I would have known. That was a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
I'm waiting for a courier to run up on us at some point and say that they've been looking for you for years and they're demanding alimony.
Hey, I've made that run a couple of times before in the past.
How many times did you have knives pulled on you?
I mean, I've done it about 4 times, only once.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I appreciate the whole, don't shoot the messengers at them, but
At least none of those were with my name, so I'm sure it's fine.
None of them were
Yeah.
hers. Were there any that you couldn't possibly find the recipient?
I mean, I said I've delivered about 4, and there's been a couple where, trail runs cold, but
So there's
I
a
don't
chance.
know. Maybe. I
truly
can't say I
would be.
recall all the exact names given everything I've been through that scrambled my brain, but
It truly would be an enlightening thing to me. Surely anyone who's around 20 years old, that is apparently your child that we've just run into and not known.
and they would be our age. Well, I say our age,
Well,
but
your age.
I mean myself, Lyra, and Darcy, but
Little did you know, he's actually Darcy's dad.
It's, I mean, not impossible.
Darcy's a half elf.
I mean, the time
You
plan
know,
matches
you
up.
know your
you know?
parents, right? Both of them.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. We can end this conversation.
Oh, okay.
I've actively talked about my father before.
That's
Lyra,
crazy.
your parents, you know both of them?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, but Lyra's a human. I feel like if there was any
True, true.
Faerun in there, we'd be able to tell.
Yeah. I mean, they're the same hair color.
You're not a Faerun. You've not been with any air elementals before in the past, have you?
I've been with an Earth Genasi, but that's
Okay, that's
that's
fine.
not the same thing. I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
how
you
I can
don't-
do with an elemental. I don't. How does it even work? Do you do?
I don't know.
Let's
I can't
not,
say I was there when it happened.
let's not test it, but if we have to, Veyroon, you're the volunteer.
I've turned to the cloud. I'm not about
You
that life
have
anymore.
more experience with this than any of us. So
Yeah, he may have more experience, but clearly that doesn't equate to being good at it.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Back up there. Come on, it's me. Come
Yeah,
on.
and you have
It's
an
you.
ex that's out there vandalizing property and apparently stealing shit from you. I don't have that. Varus, do you have that?
Do you think I would ever have the leisure to have that?
Darcy, do you?
no,
Oh, you've already said no. Lyra,
God, no.
if Estelle, you probably don't remember it, but ask anyway just to make the point.
The only person who maybe is not on this is not alive anymore. So
right. This conversation is taking ups and downs at random intervals.
It really is.
Truthfully,
Isn't it?
I didn't think this conversation would be as mind-numbingly painful as it has been.
Oh well, we've just had different life experience. I think if your parents didn't hate you,
You know, you're right. We have
You
had
could've
different
been
life
like me.
experience. No,
you
you know,
could've been like me.
I don't think I would. You want to know why? Because my family's quite strict. I don't think they would have ever allowed everything that happened.
Ooh, I guess mine were too until I left college.
And not strict enough, apparently.
What happens at
Yes.
college stays at college. Am I right?
I hate to say it, Vedru, but let's just say our families differ in some areas in terms of nobility. I imagine.
But they do.
I
Both
kind
elves,
of look
but
up at the sky.
kingdoms.
We still have a few hours till nightfall. This is unfortunate.
Oh, fortunately, I can save you from those. As the next couple of hours passes by.
We use a good old
Painfully.
Skyrim red.
Oh, it's
Jake, for the sake of things, just because it was just because it was a decent part of the conversation, Darcy has made a facsimile of what Veyron's child might look like.
It's supposed to like the good old like children generator, like when you get two pictures.
Yep. I mean, you know what Valerius looks like, so.
Yeah, I know what they both look like.
Yeah. The next couple of hours passes by. Give me a dex check with your carpenter's tools, Darcy. Or
That's what that
woodcarver's
is.
Tools. Oh, you already did. 20.
Yes.
Yeah, honestly, it's terrifying. Did you carve a boy or a girl?
Darcy flipped a coin. Let's see. Odds boy, evens girl. It's a girl.
Okay. Yeah. It's terrifying, Varen, because you see, like, distinctive features that are your own, mixed with Valeris. Darcy's just carving away. And it looks like maybe a teenager. And it's interesting.
Yeah, Vayron pretends not to pay attention or look, but he's definitely like taking lots of peeks.
Once Darcy has it done, he just puts it in. He just puts it in Vayron's hands. Here you go.
Congrats.
Now you can practice. Now you can practice having a conversation with your child.
Oh come on, there's no way. Right?
If
There's
I'm even
absolutely not no way. You can't just
not.
keep saying
It's
there's
a
no way.
non-zero chance.
It is absolutely a non-zero. In fact, the chance is high, very high.
No.
Vayron, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you do have a child and they look like that, I'm going to start learning divination magic because I have a talent there.
No, no. No. Can't be. No.
Why do you keep saying no? All it takes is one time sometimes.
You see Vayron just like freaking out.
I mean, statistically speaking, with how many people you mentioned,
You've at least got
Yeah.
one.
yeah, there's got to be at least one.
I've been careful, and elves, they don't. Our bodies don't really produce. Like we're. No, can't be. No.
You were about
Vayron,
to
I'm
yourself
going to
into a
Vayron, I'm
lie,
going to
right?
point something out. I'm going to point something out here for you. When it comes to childbirth, men do practically nothing. The act that you did is all that you needed to do for there to be a child somewhere that
After.
needs to be calling you daddy.
After that initial visit, like you're not needed anymore. I'm just saying.
I do have to ask, Vayron, have you tried contacting your parents just to see if anyone has come by, just to say, hey, listen, I'm pretty sure your son did this. Has a conversation ever come up?
Your family's guest house might be filled with illegitimate children.
You're gonna have a lot of child support to start paying back when you get home.
I'm just saying you might want to ask. It might be important.
This is
I'm sure they just tell me, right?
out of character. Vayron's
How would
sister's
they
not
reach
even
you?
out of character. Vayron's sister isn't even sick. He's just getting all these alimony things, so we're hunting dragons to pay them off.
How would they reach you, Vayron? Do they know where you are?
Yeah, I mean, they know people who have sending. So they really need to contact me.
I'm going to start putting.
Yourself.
I'm
No,
going to
Sid.
start putting up posters to see if, just as feelers, to see what happens.
Have you seen this man insist on image of Aaron?
Is this man the father of your children?
If so, you might have a problem.
If so, you
Might
might
be
be
entitled to
entitled to compensation.
Could it be the reason why she stole from me? Was it really the child's payment?
If so, contact the Zavel family until Fora.
Why don't you right now try to contact her and see what happens?
Like, I couldn't. After
Why
I've
don't
done
you
to
try?
her.
We've got all the time in the world.
We've got 2 hours until nightfall.
You know what? No. What I'll do is I'll find her. Next
That
break
is
I get,
the worst suggestion, but okay.
I will find her and I will talk to her, and we'll clear things up, and everything will be okay.
I feel like trying to send her something so she's not in your face, wielding a knife would probably be the better option, but you do you.
Do you want me to make you a forgiveness carving for her?
Oh no, let him do this on his own. I'm curious.
Yeah, no, he got himself into this mess. He's got to dig himself
Oh,
out.
no. I charge him the rate, of course.
Oh, well, that's fair.
Oh, well, I mean, maybe it would help. Think it would help?
Maybe.
I can't say I've ever been in that situation before, so I don't know.
I've
Just
never
make
had
sure
to
it's
make
not
a
the
forgiveness.
carving
I've
that
never
you
had
just
to.
made.
I've never had to. Yeah, no. Do not give her that. Do not give her that. That will send
Yeah,
the wrong message.
Big crowd. It's already freaking me out.
Wow, you are our healer. That is concerning.
Yeah,
think I
you
should-
don't. How does a priest not know if they might have a child when they've slept with over 30 women?
Well, I mean, I've been in contact with some of those women after we.
Okay, but not all of them.
Well, no. Some of them were one night stands. Some I don't even remember their face. But
Even worse.
But don't worry, he totally knows he doesn't have any out there running around.
no, there's no way. No.
I'm going to put something out there. I'm surprised your god took you, considering you broke off a marriage.
That's actually a good point.
No, we were engaged to be married. That was a
You
totally different
broke up.
thing.
Not
That's
almost
what
the
breaking
same
off a
thing.
marriage means.
Oh,
Maybe
but
that's why your goddess has not been helpful to her in recent scenarios.
What? No. You think I should ask her if I have a child? You would know.
It couldn't hurt.
You know, what's the worst you're gonna do? Send a rock from the heavens and crush you?
You see a meteor up. No, I'm kidding.
Falain comes down from the heavens herself.
hands you the court papers for X amount of gold.
Are you going to do it or not?
You know what? He'll pray this time.
Oh, don't do it here. Wait till tomorrow. Anywhere but here, knowing.
No,
what
just
we're
let
about
just
to
let
get
it
into.
happen. Just let it happen.
No.
I walk like 50 feet away from him. Just because the last time he prayed, we all fell off a cliff.
Yeah, no, I'm route that way. Just right off.
Yep, turns around, starts galloping the other way.
And Darcy's just Darcy's staying there because what's the worst thing that could happen to him that isn't already going to happen to him?
Okay, Severin, what are you doing?
I'll just get on his knees. I'll pray. Oh, Lane, if I do have a child out there, please bless them with a good life. One that's not like mine, and lead them to a good path.
Is that the prayer you give?
Yeah.
Give me a religion check.
Oh man.
It's such a wild...
You will use wisdom for this instead of intelligence. Yeah,
I'll just roll it manually. 1d20 plus 8.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
don't
above a
know-
10.
You are unaware if she is aware of your prayer. If she is, she has made no indication that she's heard it.
She doesn't give a shit.
I truly would love to imagine that this entire time Beirut's been getting his powers from some other god. And Thalane's just been like, you broke off a marriage. What am I gonna give you? What the fuck? Stop praying to me. The entire time you've been praying to just the wrong god.
Little did you know, it's actually Sydney that gives you your power. All right, but you are unaware of your prayer if your prayer has gone through. But the rest of the night is quiet. It's silent, and honestly, it's a little awkward as you sit there. Eventually, the sun does set in the far
Wait, that all came
horizon.
from the question: should we get more diamonds?
Oh, right. Fuck, I completely forgot.
Forgot.
You guys didn't even leave the city yet. Never mind. You're still in the city.
Nah, we 100% left.
I was about to say, I feel like we've like walked out and we're like
We-
2 hours
we-
into
we
this.
We
were
were definitely
100%
having that conversation. We were definitely
Two
either having
interactions.
that conversation
Yeah.
on the road or at the
100%.
destination.
Yeah, we just left the building. We were just gonna go, like that question was asked as soon as we left, and we just kept walking, and we totally forgot. Oh,
In this fight, 3 of us are going down.
Only 2 of us are getting brought
Man.
back up.
it'd be awkward if Viren actually dies, and then
He goes to the other side. It's
back
like, hey,
playing
buddy, I'm not Fallon.
Oh god.
comes back playing his kid. You guys met my dad.
Oh god. Oh god, I just have some terrible thoughts about some plot lines I could introduce for Viren.
Do it. I'll introduce all of them.
he got it.
Absolutely not. Some of
Darren
them,
deserves it.
one of them I think is gonna be hilarious, so I might do
Cool.
so. Don't worry
Child
about
support arc.
it.
We go to kill another dragon, but not because we need any of its parts or for a bounty. It's just to get enough money from the clear his child
For
support
the
debt.
alimony in the back pay.
There's
Yeah.
centuries of it.
Yeah.
It's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
It's like, hey dad, I'm older than farts.
I just realized something.
Ain't no way.
What years did Veyron go to college? Like, how old was Veyron when he went to college?
Like in the 200s, a long time ago.
How old is Veyron now?
What year is it?
473.
Yeah, he's that old.
Right. So there is a distinct chance that if you had a child during the college years, that they have grown up and died after having children of their own.
Very possible if there was like a
They're just half elves there.
yeah, or half whatever.
So we
Darren,
can call Grandpa
You
now.
unintentionally did start Artemis's line.
Varun, give me a give me a history check or a nature check.
Okay.
Never mind.
Oh
No,
man.
no, nothing comes to mind.
Wait, what was that history check for? Sorry.
No, you don't know. Actually, Virus, you can make this check too.
Jesus.
Never mind. No, you wouldn't be able to.
Oh, good. I that scares me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you wouldn't be able to. Never mind. Would Darcy be able to?
Ours is only 125.
Yeah, Darcy, you can make one too, but it's a disadvantage.
Sure.
Darcy's Martelon.
Yes. Born and raised.
Yeah.
Okay. Darcy, you're distinctively aware that due to the magical nature of elves, that a lot of them, unless they choose to have a child, they will not have a child.
Darcy's gonna keep that. Darcy's gonna keep that to himself.
You don't know if the man contributes at all to that thought.
Oh no, that could be even worse.
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
Roll 2d20 for how many you sired.
2d20, holy shit.
1d30.
He's had a long life.
How large is his line? Roll D100 times 2. It's like, what do you mean
You
I've
really
spawned
went
an
around.
entire house?
You really went around.
Yeah, no, it's
All virus.
yeah.
Oh, that's abysmal.
That's how it happens normally, though there are exceptions. So, that's something you know, Darcy.
Yeah,
No one else
and
does.
Gavin was blacked out most of the time, so maybe he consented, maybe he didn't.
Oh my god, that's even worse.
I was
so
going that.
much worse.
The first question I was going to ask was if the man has to consent to that entire thing as well. The second question I was going to ask is exactly what Meru just said.
I mean, if
Was
it's
he
anything like
conscious
how
or
dragons in base lore do, it doesn't matter. Usually.
So yeah, there could be hundreds of little Varens running around, or none.
That's terrifying.
Terrifying thought, truly.
Yeah, indeed.
They could be partying right now.
Ugh.
So, out of character.
Uh-huh.
You were together with this girl for like 300 years?
No, not that long. Like, I'd say like 60.
Off and
You
on
went to
200.
college like 200 years ago.
Okay, we went to college. I made fun of her a little bit, you know, just a tiny bit. I'm sure she didn't take it personally. Okay, and then we dated
The
for
fact
like
that you assume that
years.
she didn't take it personally means that she almost certainly took it personally somewhere in the corners of her mind.
Yeah, you know, we on and off. You know, after college, I didn't see her for like 150 years or so, and then we met back up.
Wow.
You know, out of character. I truly love adding more to someone's backstory that they definitely didn't have.
This is why I also take notes.
That's so funny. It spawns from the fact I rolled 2 5s.
This was your major mistake.
It was all metaphor.
5.
This is what double 5 gets you.
It
A
is.
marriage and a possible child.
Well, yeah. But eventually the night comes and settles, the sun descends below the horizons, past the mountains, and all of you are once again in the same spot in location that you had been in previously. Settled down and ready to partake in whatever activities Darcy's friends get up to. As the...
Are you gonna try
Sorry.
the amulet thing this time again, Robert?
I'm again, I don't see strings, which is what's really confusing me. Like, there's no strings, is there, Jake?
No.
Like,
nothing.
still?
Like, you wave your hand over top, and then before, it would have felt like you were pushing through, like, a tiny little stream of water whenever you touch the strings. Your hand passed through them, but, like, there was a feeling there. Now? Nothing.
Darcy will even, like, wave his hands, like, behind his back, over his shoulders, things like that, in case there's any strings there that he can't physically see.
You get nothing. There's no sensation that you've touched anything. At one point, you're like, oh, I touched something. And you realize you just touched your hair.
No strings whatsoever.
This is either going to be the most relaxing full moon we've ever had, or the most dangerous, possibly.
Yeah, Darcy's just gonna wait it out.
Okay. So you sit down. Are you fighting off sleep?
Yep, Darcy's staying awake.
What about the rest of you?
I think shifts, like always.
All right. So who's taking the first shift?
Ken.
All right.
I'll take second.
Artemis, Varus. By that time, Varun will probably be awake, as long as he's not partying or blacking out.
He's picking up.
You never know with him.
Yeah, true. He
He'll
could be
get panic
freaking
attack.
out too. Yeah. All right. So as the rest of you all kind of doze off into sleep, Darcy, you just glance up towards the full moons, and in a brief moment, you're kind of looking up, and you see that Gael is the one that is currently full. And it feels like something's not quite right. That you've had these strings, that you've had this attachment, that you've had this connection for so long, and now it feels like it's missing or subdued or something. You get a feeling that you could potentially reach out. Maybe you could project yourself back onto the moon. Or at least whatever locale you were in previously. Maybe.
If I were to project myself, do I think I could send myself back if need be?
You don't even know where you're getting this feeling that you can project yourself. It's a choice. It almost feels like you could reach out and grab something to do it. But do you want to? Artemis, you're taking the first watch, correct? Oh, he's
Correct.
Here. Oh, he's here. Are you watching Darcy and the surroundings, or just Darcy, or just the surroundings?
I mean, I would be, given the context of like this being a full moon, I would certainly be watching him like a lot more than if it were just a normal night on watch. And Root would also be with me and like kind of diverting attention like in the surroundings and whatnot. So I'd say yeah.
Artemis, do you have dark vision?
I believe I do. I'll check.
Let me check.
Yeah, I
do
do.
have dark vision 60.
Yep.
Does Root have dark vision?
That's a good question. Let me look.
Rotabaga.
See, where is her sheet? Oh,
It's
here it
under
is.
companions.
Yep, out to 30 feet, oddly enough.
Not 60. Strange, but fair. So, both of you give me a perception check. I'll say you
Sure.
probably about 50-50, but you're looking at 50% Darcy, 50% the outside.
All right. Let's see, here's mine. Wow. And then here's hers. Wow. That's impressive.
A dragon goes on a stroll right by us.
Well, Darcy, since you're fighting off sleep, give me a con save and then a perception check. Since you're a half elf, you have dark vision, so you don't have disadvantage.
It's actually impressive, really. I don't know what else to say.
He's rubbing salt in the wound. Oh, okay.
Darcy's pulled all-nighters several times in his life.
Yeah, at this current moment, like, of course, there's the sleepiness feeling, but you're fighting past it, and you're kind of like, carving just random shapes into a small piece of wood that you've picked up off of the ground. Nothing specific, but, just something to keep your mind busy. However, as you kind of glance over towards Artemis and Root, you can see that they both like Artemis is leaning against the back of Root's neck, and Root has like her neck was up, but at this current moment, you can see both of them are like basically passed out. You hear a light snoring coming from Root.
Every time she breathes out or breathes in, I kind of like rise a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Fall.
Darcy will wait until roughly the next watch shift before he makes his decision whether or not to follow that feeling.
Yeah, the two of them, they fell asleep like 10 minutes into the watch. It's really impressive. But maybe they just had a long week shooting guns. But yeah, about 2 hours pass by rather, for the most part, uneventfully. Darcy, you're still fighting off sleep, so give me another Constitution saving throw.
I got a nat 20.
Oh, you're right, which means you succeeded this one. Well, I think part of nat 20 rule is that the second roll has to be made within the hour. Let me double check. Let's see. Criticals. Nat 20, succeeding nat within the next hour. So
okay.
you would have to roll me another one. Okay. As you're trying to keep your mind busy as much as possible, eventually, unfortunately, your hand kind of falls into its own pattern, and unknowingly, you lull yourself to sleep. Varus, you shift yourself awake because you hear someone thud against the grass.
I think just because of how he would 100% shoot himself up and just like take out his bow and just start aiming at where you're the thud.
Yeah, you point at a Darcy who is currently face on the grass and ass up because he just fell off of his seat, completely snoring and asleep. You also see Artemis and Root sleeping off to the side.
Would I roughly know that it would most likely be like my time to watch?
Yeah, kind of looking up at the moon, doing a very rough kind of finger measurement. Yeah, it's about 2.5 hours into your watch.
Okay.
Or sorry, it's been 2.5 hours before, as from the start of the watch. Yeah.
I think at the very least he'll probably. He can't pick it. Well, he might be able to pick him up. Darcy's. He'll either drag / pick up Darcy and just kind of move him somewhere more comfortable as opposed to face down on the ground.
Entirely fair. You move him.
Would that jostling wake Darcy up at all?
Are you trying to wake Darcy up, Varus?
I mean, knowing that going to sleep is probably worse for him, he probably might be, most likely.
Then, yeah, with no issues, Darcy, you get, like, he sits you up, and then as you get sat up, Darcy, you get woken up, and you're like,
I guess it does off there.
Most likely for about, like, a minute, maybe.
Right. I'm not feeling any sort of pull, but I didn't really want to mention it to Artemis. He fell asleep like 10 minutes in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's lovely information to hear. He
Root
gets the most, like, shit-eating grin on his face.
Root fell asleep in like 5.
Good to know.
But nothing's happening. There's no yank, I suppose. Whether there's the feeling that it feels more like there's a rope I could climb up if I wanted to.
Well, I would say don't, but It's entirely your decision.
If I had to guess, the moon we were on with the one who was still bound up was Gael. Ryle is almost certainly the child. They were a lot more proactive and violent.
Yes, the only problem is the fact that it didn't stop the child from going to the other one.
I might be able to manage it for a little bit.
You
Without
just had
any-
to do this. Just be careful. You being there alone was the first thing she wanted in the entirety of the reason she brought you up there. Us being there was a gift, I guess you could say.
I suppose if something happens and you see threads coming off of me, do what you think should be done.
Sure. Varus will kind of get back a little, probably about like 10 to 15, and just kind of. It's gonna look very. You just kind of see Varus take out his bow and just aim it at you.
Well, good luck. And
He's saying that to you.
I was saying it to myself.
Good.
Can you
And
grab the feeling?
He will.
Okay. Hey, Darcy.
Is it secrets time?
It's Whispers time.
Yeah.
Hello.
I can't remember the last time I was in here.
No, it's been a long while since I've had anybody in here. There hasn't been a reason for much. But I suppose with the recording, they will eventually see this. Or, they might not be curious and not look. I suppose. But, Darcy, as things kind of shift and you realize that there is this very much solid tension feeling that you can hold on to, that you can grasp, that you could potentially reach out and take, you do so. And for a brief moment, nothing happens. For a brief moment, you grasp onto this feeling and nothing changes. Then everything goes black. Your vision fades, your senses they elude themselves. Your hearing becomes faint distance. You can still hear and feel the blowing of the wind, the night breeze, the sounds of the cricket in the distance, and the grass blowing in the wind, but it's all so far away. And then your vision opens. Your eyes glance towards the blinding surface of a unfortunately familiar location. You sit up ever so slightly and you can feel your entire body coated in this strange dust. And you look up, and there you see Adriosa in all its beautiful grand splendor, spinning ever so slightly. You glance around. There isn't much to see at this moment. However, I would like you to roll me 2 things.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I need you to roll me a d20 plus 19. And I need you to give me a d20 plus 18.
All right.
Okay. Give me a perception check as yourself.
Okay.
Glancing around, you don't see anything. You don't see the structure that the woman within was previously strapped to. You don't see the strings of the younger one. Nothing around you even indicates that there were any people here recently. And for some strange reason, Darcy, it feels empty. It feels wrong. Like you're missing something. Something that had been there for so long is now detached or gone. It doesn't make any sense. Of course it doesn't. Why would it? You hated this feeling. Hated having a doll around. But then why are you so sad? This feeling of melancholy washes over your entire body, and you can't help but have a tear roll down your cheek.
These are your feelings somehow. Get them out of my head. Well, Darcy's just gonna walk around a little bit. See if he can't see anything recognizable.
And you do. You begin to just walk around in as straight of a line as you can possibly do. And eventually, as you continue walking, you realize that there's a set of footprints in this dust that you're walking in ahead of you.
Do they look like mine?
They do. It looks like the location of which you had woke up. A small brick wall that makes up the side of a crater right beside you where you had sat up using its support. The bit of a pacing that you had done around the spot you had actually stood up on. And you see your footsteps descend in the direction in a singular straight path before you glance backwards and you realize that singular straight path just seems to keep going. And it returns you to where you are. Rael in the distance never moved. Idriosa, though it continued to rotate on its axis, it didn't move either. The stars in the background remained still. Something's just a little off. And then you hear
Okay.
Here in the distance, what sounds like strings snap. A scream. High-pitched, likely from a younger girl.
How young?
15, maybe younger.
Does it sound like the woman's voice or the child's voice?
Very much the child's. The woman looked, physically, at the very least to you, she looked like she was early 30s, late 20s. The child had always looked 13, 14 at most.
Okay. And that was like a scream of pain?
It seemed like it.
In that case, Darcy's going to proceed as carefully as he can towards that.
Mm-hmm. And as you continue to walk forward, you can feel your paces going, the shifting of this dust continuing until eventually... Strange. You find now 3 steps of footprints in front of you. Back where you had started.
That sensation that I felt that told me that I could bring myself here. Can I feel that?
It's still present.
Can I tell if it's leading anywhere?
No. It's just there.
In
It's
that
like,
case,
it feels like a dull ache in your arm, something that you feel like you need to scratch. But it doesn't seem to lead anywhere.
in that case, just rather than walking in a particular direction with a particular goal in mind, Darcy's just going to shut his mind off and wander, because that feeling doesn't give him the sensation that he might be able to just leave at a moment's notice, does it?
You aren't sure, but the feeling is still there. Do you want to follow it? Or do you want to activate it, push it?
Darcy's going to let it lead him.
Okay. And as you kind of like close your eyes and begin to wander, something shifts. The feeling fades until it's gone. And as soon as you open your eyes, you're once again sitting on the ground, staring at Varus. Let's go back.
Okay.
Oh, hello there.
Oh. Speaking of,
Little gnome Casanova.
Speaking of, what do you mean speaking of? I'm always here.
nothing. What?
Yeah.
Strange. But, Varus, about 5 or 6 minutes after Darcy had kind of done something, you had essentially seen him, like, take a deep breath and then just, like, collapse in on himself. He basically crumpled onto the ground. You sat him up, made sure he was comfortable, and kept pointing your bow at him. But he wakes up maybe 6 minutes later, and you could see him, like, blinking, confused. Or would you be confused, Darcy?
He'd more so be a little frustrated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That feeling? It's gone.
Oh, that's annoying.
Do I have to shoot you?
No, you don't need to shoot me.
Keep my bow up for like 30 more seconds just in case. When I lower.
Something is happening up there.
In what way?
In the I don't know kind of way.
Lovely.
I tried wandering around trying to find anything there. I didn't even find the child. The only sign that anything was there was my own footprint.
Abandoned.
And the sound of a single snapping string and the scream of a child in pain.
Oh, lovely.
So something is happening, and as tends to be the case, I'm probably going to be the last one to know about it, despite the fact that it most certainly affects me the most.
Well, much as I hate to say it, unfortunately, Doesn't look like there's much that you can do right now.
It doesn't look like there's much that's going to be happening to me. Not until the next full moon. And even then, that's Guile again. So I'm going to work off of the assumption that until I see strings, Guile full moons are safe.
Speaking of safe at the very least, you might as well take the rest.
No, I need to work through some things in my mind right now. I'll sleep later.
Give a piece of paper, by the way.
Of course. Why?
Can I just have like, a little bit of?
Hmm?
Just like a little sliver, enough for like a small note.
Sure. Why?
He's gonna take it. He's gonna write on there. We're watching. Tie it to an arrow. Stab it in between Artemis's, and just kind of keep it. Just kind of.
Sorry, what?
He's gonna take a note, the piece of paper that our Darcy has given him.
Uh-huh.
Right on there. We're watching. Tie it to an arrow. Stab it in like around Artemis's area because he fell asleep on the first one, and just keep it there.
Oh, okay.
More of a joke, but you know, just fuck this guy.
But
He does keep an eye on the surroundings as well.
Yeah. The rest of the night, honestly, uneventful. But give me a perception check. Or is it? It is. It's pretty quiet. Though Varus, at one point in the night, as you see, all around you, everybody else is sleeping. Darcy's kind of just like sitting there thinking. You glance.
Darcy's currently carving something into one of the like chunks of wood that he's had with him.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like he's taking too much care of things. More like he's practicing something.
Fair enough. But yeah, Varus, you spot in the far distance against the massive full moon of Gael, a small shape flying in front of it. It takes you a moment to identify it, but you do identify it. It appears to be some sort of griffin. And it's probably maybe within 3-4 kilometers away. Or in miles, like 1.5, maybe 2 miles away. Close enough that you can see it, but far enough away that probably doesn't matter too much.
If it were to head towards us, I would be able to pretty much tell, right?
Oh, 100%. At least currently, while it's highlighted against the full moon. However, it very, very quickly kind of disappears into the darkness of just the night sky.
He's definitely going to keep his eyes and ears out just in case.
Mm-hmm. And you do. For the remainder of your watch, it's quiet. Who do you wake for the next watch?
I mean, Varen just wakes up, right?
Yep, Varen does wake up.
Yeah, wake up normally.
So, Varen, you're awake. Did you want to take a watch? You do see that Darcy is also still awake, and he's currently seemingly practicing something using his woodcarver's tools.
There's an arrow near Artemis that has a note attached to it.
There is.
Akira Toriyama passed away.
Darcy, doing okay?
Yes, I'm doing quite all right. I had a brief little jaunt across the moon. Nothing happened.
What's the moon? Like where we were before?
Yes, presumably we were on Guile. And there's nothing there now, save for my footprint.
I know what happened. Other than what we did, of course. Well, guess I'll take watch.
All right. Give me a perception check. From the best that you can tell as you're kind of glancing around Viren, and honestly, it's quiet. Night sky is present, of course. The crickets in the distance are chirping, and the slight breeze that is in your surroundings is, of course, present. But yeah, there isn't much. So 2 hours pass by with relatively little issues. Darcy, give me another Constitution saving throw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, back asleep.
Yeah.
Although this time he feels that and just lays down.
Yeah. Varen, you see Darcy kind of like put his tools away and then just like slides down the log until he's resting. And until he once again falls asleep.
Yeah.
But as you're kind of like glancing out towards the rest of the time, you see that the sun slowly begins to rise in the distance, or at the very least, the beginnings of a sunrise. But, yeah. It's quiet, it's nice. Your first 2 hours of your watch pass by with no issues. Give me another perception check for your last 2 hours.
Sure.
With absolute certainty, the last 2 hours pass by uneventfully. And the rest of the party wakes up. As all of you guys wake up at around a relatively early time, you can see that the sun is barely peeking out over the edges, or over the tops of the mountains. It's yeah. It's calm, it's quiet. None of you were woken in the middle of the night, surprisingly, and you currently see Darcy, like, his mouth slightly open, just leaning against the log, going, sleeping.
As I get up, do I notice the arrow with the note near me?
It's about like 6 inches from your foot as you wake up.
I kind of like look at it, kind of squint my eyes, and kind of step over, kind of kneel down and kind of pick it up and kind of look at it, but I have it the wrong way and kind of flip it over, read it, look around. Guys, everyone, gather around.
What?
I kind of hold up the arrow and the note. I don't know who they are, but they're watching us.
Wait, that sounds concerning.
Fantastic.
I kind of look around. Did no one notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
You fell asleep early.
I saw a griffin.
Oh, I didn't.
I didn't see anything interesting.
All I can say is I saw a griffin.
A griffin? What if... I kind of look down at it.
It looks like it could potentially be claw marks.
The griffins. They've gained sentience. They're evolving.
Really? That's what you're going with?
Yes. Well, what else would you say here? If there's no one near us,
You
and
think
a
a
griffin
griffin
flew
is
over.
going to be able to write?
Mind you, the note is like tiny. It's like this big.
We'll work on it.
You think maybe there was someone riding the griffin?
Yes. It could have been them.
Could have been.
This is much to
Do I-
consider.
Do I
We must
know?
be vigilant going from here on.
Do I know whose arrow that is? Would it be pretty obvious?
Yeah. You know whose arrow that is. You've seen
From this
dozens
point
of them.
on, I expect all of you to
Mhm.
just stay entirely awake during your watches. Do not slack off. Remain vigilant. Do not be set upon.
You should be telling
Of
Root.
course,
you should be
tireless leader who
you should
fell
be
asleep
telling that
10
to
minutes.
Root.
Rude and I didn't fall asleep.
Ah!
See,
And Darcy will turn his notebook around to just a scene sketch of Artemis and Root sleeping.
that's not admissible in court. Doesn't count.
So then how come I woke up only when Darcy here fell asleep
Well,
and out
now
of his chair?
this is just a hit piece on me. I feel like this is targeted. We are trying to diminish my good name within this
Well,
group and the
Can I have my
surrounding
arrow
area.
back, please?
I kind of look at it. Do I recognize that it's
Oh,
his
yeah.
arrow?
Now that you've taken a look at it, yeah. It's one of his +1 arrows. It's very obvious.
So about that griffin that's sentient.
Okay, first of all, the griffin did happen. I'm pretty sure it's not sentient. But there was a griffin everywhere.
A griffin, eh?
I will remember this thought. I will remember this. His hand on the arrow.
I hope you do, and maybe next time you learn not to
You know,
fall
if
asleep during
it
your
weren't
walk.
for the fact that that is a magic arrow, I would have broke it. Just throwing
That's
that out there.
Completely fair. But just like, we've got people gunning for our lives. Falling asleep during a watch is definitely not the best thing to
I
have.
have to give him a fighting chance. You know, if I was awake and they attack,
I'll just put
you
it
know.
this way: the last time your brother attacked us, we all almost died, and we didn't even know he was there.
Very true.
I mean, I'd win. It's fine.
You almost didn't.
Almost doesn't count except for in like horseshoes and bombs.
Sure.
I'm an expert with bombs.
I'll just
Does
put
anybody
the
else
arrow
want
back
some?
in the
Does anybody else want some coffee? Because I
Yes,
certainly need some.
please.
Well, so did nothing happen last night? I was asleep the whole night.
Absolutely nothing happened.
I
Darcy
haven't seen anything.
traveled the moon and found nothing.
You do
The
see
what?
that there is a small pile of wood chippings right beside where Darcy was sleeping. But that's literally it. There's nothing else.
The only thing that could be considered a highlight is I think the child got snapped with one of his strings.
Good.
Well, do we want to head back to the city?
Might as well. I'm going back. I'm going to travel back to Ardalon, make some more, do a little bit more work, and well, maybe.
You should take Vavrin with you. Maybe he can.
No, no. I think I'm done with Huddle for now. Maybe I need a few minutes to write a letter.
But
And maybe. Oh.
You're
no.
gonna write another letter.
Yeah.
The last one went so well.
For the love of all
Is
the
there a
gods.
reason that you don't just, I don't know, use your sending spell? Like, it's at least like a momentary link between the two of you, and you can just talk things out.
No, I can't. That'd be too much.
And yet you're talking about sending her a letter.
Well, yeah, I have to start up easy again. You know, I haven't sent a letter for like. Before we set off.
Varen, I'm going to level with you here. And this is coming from someone with minimal experience. But going with the letter is a terrible idea.
Did you not have a moment when you were in like early years in school where like there was someone, guy or gal, that you liked, and maybe you thought to send them a note saying that?
No.
Have you never had that experience?
No.
I can
No.
tell, because if you did, you would know this is an awful idea.
Trust me. It's just sending the letter is the coward's approach.
She will more than likely think less of you, less less. You're giving me a stroke here. She would think much lower of you than what she probably already does now.
I think. But she's pretty mad at me. She broke in to Darcy's shop
and it's best not to fuel that anger and like stoke the flames by sending her a message in a letter that she will get in anywhere from a few weeks to a couple months.
When she hates something, that's forced upon her. Like, what if she doesn't want to hear my voice?
Well, then she'll just tell you that, and then you'll know right off the bat.
How about this? Let's do. How about this? Go somewhere in between. There's a spell called Magic Mouth, isn't there? It lets you record your voice for a message.
Okay.
I feel like that's even worse.
Think about it this way, Varus. I'm the one who's going to be having to hand it to her. The rate this is going.
I still say we should let him deal with it like a man and just walk up and talk to her.
Oh, come on, guys. You've never been in a relationship. You don't know how hard this is.
And apparently you've been in over 30 and you still act like this is your first one.
No, I didn't say I was in 30 relationships. I've just said I've been with over 30 women.
Yeah,
completely different.
You would think you would know how to handle just one.
Well,
we're burning daylight. I need to get to Ardalon before business hours. So here, everybody take some coffee. We can lambaste Veyroon on the walk.
Oh, don't worry. It's going to be a couple hours walk. I'll be sure to lay into him.
yeah.
Okay. So, what are all of you doing now?
So
It's the
I guess we have to rest until the 10th, pretty much.
Yeah, we're doing stuff until the 10th, so the rest of the stuff is done.
Okay.
I guess we're prepared to travel. And,
3 more days of downtime.
I guess technically to the 11th, if we want to just do that. Well, because the 7th counts as downtime too, doesn't it?
Yep, day of the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th, and the 10th. Unless you wanted to end it on the morning of the 10th, which is when the items would be completed.
Might as well wait until the 11th, just in case.
We can leave on the 11th.
Okay, so 7, 8, 9, 10.
Was it the Feast of Days? What was that again, exactly?
The Feast of Days.
Yeah. The holiday?
If I remember correctly, that's on the 10th.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at what the fuck it is, but the calendar doesn't tell me.
Does that show it?
No.
It's got a calendar of it.
Oh, it does show it, but it's in dark mode, so you can't see it.
No way.
Oh, there is text there.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I can like vaguely
here.
It's only a holiday in Free Reach.
Yeah, it's a holiday celebrated in Free Reach, where the rich mingle with the middle class quite openly. During this occasion, the Lord's Ward opens up to the general public, and anyone with access to the Commons has access to the Lord's Ward for the day. Within this area, there are games held, fun foods shared, and all manners of different types of activities held. It is a time to make connections, and to perhaps even see a particularly elusive members of certain houses.
Varus, that's your chance. Take it.
Yeah, that is the chance.
Why do you think I'm sitting here contemplating?
Come on, you know what to do with
Change
your
of plans.
downtime.
We take a little detour to Free Reach for a day.
No, Varus is doing that himself.
I mean, he's going to do it regardless of if anyone goes with him. He's going.
I think we have to. Okay. Some of us are okay, some of us aren't.
I'm not waiting for anything here. I'd come.
Hell yeah. I would have my bow at that time, so I'd be good to go.
Fair enough.
Good lord.
I mean, Sylvia is the month of Independence Days, or, locally celebrated holidays, because there's this, and then there's Umber Independence Day on the 25th.
The more you mentioned about what happens on this day, I was like, oh, I mean, you had me at Lord's Ward open.
Yeah. And you get your new bow and you could test it out.
Yeah, maybe
You're still-
I'm just saying, I'm just saying. But first things first, I will give you guys all of the items during those days. I have entries for all of them, so I can't remember who got what. So I know there was the plate armor, which Veyroon has already got.
I've got the bow.
There is the bow, of which I will give to your sheet. Give me one moment. Varus Oriel. Let me go and drop down back. What the fuck did I call the bow? Oh, give me a second. I'm trying to find it. Because I know
It's a long bow, if that helps.
It's called a Silver Dragonbone Longbow.
Mm.
Did I really call it that? Yeah, we're gonna call it the Silver Dragon Bow. There you go. There you go. It is now in your inventory.
Oh boy. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but that makes it easy.
That's me rolling for him, not him rolling. Also,
We both did it.
Yeah, you can look at the character. You can look at the item description if you click the name of the item.
Well, I clicked the name of the item and then it rolled it into the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right, cool.
Cool. Oh, you can take a -5 to hit. You get basically sharpshooter.
Yep. But it doesn't change too much. It doesn't give you like an additional +10. It just increases your damage from a D8 to 2D8.
Mm.
But it has a slowing effect.
Mm.
I need to.
Oh, that'll stack with mine too. So if some poor bastard has got 15 feet of movement or 30 feet of movement, you hit them with that. I hit them with an Eldritch Blast. They have 5 feet of movement.
You only have Ray of Frost and keep debuffing them.
Who asked for the boots?
What is it, Lyra?
I think I was the only one that could really use it.
Okay. Then, Lyra, you got a set of boots. Let me drag and drop this into your inventory. There you go. You should have it in your inventory now under equipment. Oh. Sorry, that effect should be slightly different. Give me a second.
I don't wear armor.
So long as you're not wearing armor. That should have been what it said. Oops. There you go.
Barbarian boot.
I love how it says you can replace one of your attacks. Like I've got multiple attacks. Yeah.
Well, you know,
or ever will.
Just in case someone else uses it.
Nah, never. I'm dying with this. It'll be buried with me.
Jesus. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Who asked for the shield? Was it Veyron?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Plus, I lost my sword, so we had extra +1 weapons, right?
Yeah, we haven't sold them yet.
I'll need one of those.
Whoops. You're not supposed to get the boots. Whoops. You're supposed to get the shield. There you go.
Ooh, let me see.
Boom. Pop it into chat. There you go. So this shield is considered a spiked shield.
Oh, where the fuck was our list of dragon loot?
I think you guys put it
I
in the
think we-
party inventory,
we-
right?
I don't think we
No.
have any.
Not the loot. I put only the drops.
Right. Or the
I didn't put
harvested stuff.
the harvest.
The loot. I see. Yeah.
I didn't put the
Where even is that?
games.
I don't know.
The party inventory is still at the top right of your sheet. It's the one. It's the thing that looks like 3 people.
Oh, that.
Yeah, but we never put down what we got. Did we? Someone copy and paste it?
Why is there 1950 GP in here? Okay. Fair enough for this.
I think the only problem was the fact that we got that shit in Canada, and none of us wrote it down.
No. You guys wrote it down. Someone
was
wrote
it
it
the
down
session
because
after?
you guys had used it. Yeah, because you guys
Oh,
harvested like after that session because you didn't have time to harvest it in Canada. The incident was long.
It would have been.
I wrote down the harvest, but I didn't write down the stuff we got in the lair.
You know, because we had to harvest it the next day because, like, right after the fight, we were all on the brink of death and just took a rest.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I probably have it here somewhere, but I thought you guys had it written down, so I don't know if I have it all saved.
I have no idea who wrote it down. That all I remember is the painting of the Greys, and the Greys painted, and a bunch of weapons and gems and shit.
I'm about
And
to
we
scroll
got-
all the way up to the fucking top.
I know we got 3 mithril daggers, a lot of arrows and bolts.
It's written in the chat somewhere, and I know it's in one of the recordings. I just don't know which one.
I mean, it'd have to be the one right after.
The Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why we record things so we don't fucking forget. But yeah, you can go back and look because like I'm looking at my sheet and I just realized that
I'm almost positive we got another +1 short sword.
I only have like 4 of the items that I actually gave you guys written here. Because like the important things I wrote down, like the spell storing greatsword, the painting, and like some of the other things. But like the miscellaneous loot, I just didn't bother because those were either generated.
I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
I'm almost positive we got another
Found
+1
it.
short sword. Do we have another +1 weapon for our friend here? Oh, that's
Maybe.
be the best.
There's quite a few things. For...
Yeah.
We have a +2 Kopaj. Actually, no, Artemis has that.
Yeah,
So,
it's a
yeah.
1 + 2 Kopish.
Who's got the short sword of flame?
I was about to
Artemis.
say right
Artemis
now,
has both.
yeah, I was about to say right now I have the short sword, so if you wanted the Kopesh, you could have it.
I think you needed more, right?
The +2 Kopesh? No, I don't think he's
Yeah.
using it.
No,
Who
well,
knows?
I'm trying. Let me look.
I can't remember.
I might
Do you have,
have
the
it.
Kopesh or do you have the short sword equipped?
No, he has a
Yeah,
short
I
sword
do.
of flame.
I have the short sword and a +2 Kopesh. So yeah, I do actually have it.
You could take.
But
the
I
other +1.
have another Kopesh from before that I had gotten, like I had bought.
What's the damage dice on a Kopaj?
It's a D8.
I believe
It's a long
D8.
sword.
It's essentially
only
a long
difference-
sword, but it has like the
Yeah.
special actions for it.
It has like a disarm thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could just take the +1 short sword normally, because I don't need, because I don't use it that much.
Yeah, he doesn't use it. You don't go into melee all that much.
Only
And when you
because-
do, you can hit people with your shield now.
Yeah, I guess. I'll just take the +1 short sword, just so I have a weapon to use. That's magical.
Mm-hmm. You could.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Sorry, I'm just reading through some of the artifacts that I myself made, and I'm like, holy shit, I cannot believe I made this.
Who has the breastplate of stillness?
I have it. I don't know what
Okay.
that does though.
You can cast Hold Person.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Good to know. Oh yeah, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but yeah.
Okay, +1 short sword.
Boom. There's all your items. There's all your stuff. They're cool. Fantastic. Oh, I remember this item. Marunia and Church had these. Sorry.
Which one?
It was the bound bracers.
Hmm.
You remember what that did, Andy?
I remember vaguely. Like I believe it was something like if one person fell unconscious, the other person could like reaction, like teleport or swap places, something like that. I can't recall.
Yeah, it was basically you could reaction teleport to them and then like basically protect them from harm. Okay, but yeah. So, I'll give you guys some time to plan for next time to do the downtime, which should be really quick. But I think I'm probably going to call it here because it is getting late for the majority of folks. A little bit of a shorter session, and I apologize for that because fuck me, I had a meeting. Oh, I love it when they call a 6 p.m. meeting when my fucking work ends at 4:30. But nothing I can do about that.